Well, today, as promised, we're going to work on some paint repair. I did a pretty good job getting the dings out of it. I went ahead and floated all the low spots with 3M acrylic green spot putty. Boy, don't use much of this. This stuff is really heavy. But that's part number 05096. You can find it on the internet. It's really good. It dries quick. Put it on with a razor blade just for small dings. So, as I said, I'm getting this ready for the Nationals. So I've gone over everything and changed out the fuel line. She got new wheels on it, new wheel pants. Fixed the dings. I'm going to try to make this movie an hour long today. So you might see it start and stop a few times. I'm no professional video editor, but we'll work on it. About the time that I get 100 or so of these done, I should be pretty good at it. It takes longer to edit the video than it does to do the actual repair. Be sure to like me on YouTube, favorite me. This is going to be the only way that Stunt Hangar survives. I've hooked up with their program, so the more views I watch, the better off Stunt Hangar has. So I went ahead and bought a new airbrush. It's an Iwata Eclipse, and that's what we're going to be using today. It looks like a pretty nice airbrush compared to my snap-on airbrushes that I had. They were all right. I just wanted a new one, so we'll be trying that today. It's got lube, and I'm not sure what this is. Got a paint, airbrush cleaner. So we'll give that a try. First thing I want to do before I start this repair is to weigh this model and see exactly what it weighs before we get started. And to do that, get out my scale. This is not super accurate, but it'll give me an idea. Jumping all over the place. Looks like it averages 71. That's not good, but that's what I got to work with. Jumping between 69 and a half and 70.85, so it's in between there, and it's about 70 ounces. We'll know more when we get to the Nationals. They have a good way to weigh them. So So now, I'll take a look at these repaired spots. I don't know if you can see them or not. I'll try to zoom in on those repairs, what I did. You can see the spot there. I floated the putty in that and sanded it with 1200, and I did the same on the other side. Now there were some spots on the cowl I just don't think I'm going to be able to repair. If you look at the bottom in front of the PA decal, there's a spot, and it looks like I already repaired it last year, and the paint had separated from the wood, and I guess I had put some CA in it, and I don't want to make this a big project. I just want to get it ready to go. I don't have a whole lot of time to play around, and stepped outside today and the wind is howling. It's unbelievable. So, as I said, I'm no cameraman or anything like that. I'm just a builder. But we're learning. So I'm going to set everything up. When I come back, we're going to tape off some things. Matter of fact, let's talk about taping things off. I use a blue fine line tape made by 3M as well, available in body shops. It's rather pricey, but if you want a project done right, that's what you gotta have. So we're gonna tape off the line at the blue. I want to talk about, I see a lot of times people repair things and they hardline paint. You notice I'm going to use one piece of tape, and that's it. I'm not going to tape this back here. If I run a line of tape here and a line of tape here and tape that off, there's going to be a line there, a hard line, and that will look terrible. So we're going to use as little blue as possible and just mist it onto that spot. Then I'm going to come back with straight thinner, and I'm going to spray thinner on this spot. Then I'm going to come back with clear and spray a small amount of clear on that spot and do the same thing with thinner. Come back and spray the thinner on it. What the thinner does, it's going to melt the touch-up color into the urethane. It's not a good practice. It's just terrible. But I don't have much of a choice. And when I'm done, you shouldn't be able to see it after I buff it. I don't want to make any suggestions, and the people watching this go, "Wow, that didn't work." It works for me. People can say anything they want. It works for me. This is the spot I was talking about right here on the cowling. I don't know. I might sand that, cut that away, and try to blow in some white. I don't want to get too rambunctious on touching this thing up because it is 7 years old, it's served its purpose. It's had a pretty long life, and I've got a lot of service out of it. So we'll do the other side, and we're set up for the blue. And then I gotta do some white on this as well. And I would suggest when you're doing this, because dope does not stick well to your thing, that you leave it scuffed up real good, but don't back mask over the touch-up, because it will lift the paint off. And then you'll be screaming. So, we'll go ahead and put another piece of tape on that. And when you're done, you'll probably have to look real hard to find these touch-ups. I always did like this airplane. Tomorrow we're going to go to the speed contest they're having at Booter Park, and I'm going to try to film that. If you're there tomorrow, I'll have some shirts and some products. Hopefully I can sell a little bit. I need to get that, I need to make some money so I can go to Brodak. Really bad. So now let's see if we can find some blue. We're going to have to set up my new airbrush on the air compressor. We'll see how that works. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like it's going to be an easy road to hoe. The fittings are different. No, okay. Yeah, should work. Listening to windy videos in the background. Joe Adamusco, there's another craftsman. Get out the hose, a brand new hose. Yeah, that was pretty easy to swap over from one style to the other. Nothing to see here, just changing out the hose. And get it on real good. I hope I got those paints already mixed up. I hope I don't have to go through a big rigmarole mixing paint. I think I do. A nice little coupler here. It comes with a small 2-ounce bottle, but I did buy a 4-ounce bottle as well that I'll use for clear. And my airplanes are all painted with an airbrush. Except this one. It was painted with a paint gun. That's why it's so heavy. Alright, let's see if we can find the blue paint. Oh yeah, it's mixed up. We lucked out. Shake her up real good. Pigment's in the bottom. think I'm going to pour this over the trash can so I don't get paint everywhere. Because boy, is that little hole small. That's amazing. I didn't spill a drop. Got about an ounce in there. That should be way more than I need. Let's see, are we plugged in? Yep. Oh boy, that works nice. So it's going to be minimum coat, because I don't want any overspray where it doesn't go. That did not cover, but I want to get several thin coats on and not load it up with a wad of paint. This looks like it's going to be a good repair. It's not sticking out like a sore thumb. Just remember this, anybody can paint, not everybody can sand. The paint job is in the sanding. It's coming out so good we might attack some of the other spots on here as well. Believe it or not, there was a big long gouge in the nose of this about 4 years ago. I have a carrier in the car and I had that apart. It's made of PVC, and the end of a 3/4 inch PVC pipe put a half moon in the nose right here. I did the same thing I'm doing here. You can't tell it's repaired. Of course, that whole red section was, this whole top red section was repainted and re-cleared with urethane. I even have clear in the can here, so we're in good shape. This is the snap-on airbrush right here. It's all right. It was time for a new one. So I'll set this aside, and when I'm done shooting this video, I'll clean it up, put it back. Cause even though I probably won't use it much anymore, certainly don't want to waste it. It was about $100. Well, we haven't waited a whole lot of time in between coats, but I'm going to shoot another one on here in a second, and we'll pull the tape off and I'll shoot some clear on it. Or maybe I'll leave the clear on that side. And then the thinner. That was even there. That's a good thing. That's it. This whole repair took about, oh, I'd say, half hour of sanding on those nitrous stain spots that I filled in with 1500 and Windex. Sand it round and keep the sandpaper clear and get it smooth so that when you put the blue or the other color on it, it doesn't show. And then you saw how long it took to shoot those in. And when you see this airplane, I want you to come up and look for those spots because they'll be gone. It's nice to have an airplane that looks new, even though it's rather old. And there's a lot of different ways you can hide things, you know, like I'm gonna put a red trim stripe on the bottom. And Billy, he likes decals or stickers. You know, he gets a hole in something, he puts a sticker on it or whatever. And I guess if that works, it's that's all right. So now we waited a few minutes, and it's dry to the touch because we didn't put any on. I didn't load it on there. I just want the hint. I just want to color it. I don't want to load it with paint. The clear is what's going to make it shine. So now I got my, it's a 3-ounce bottle, excuse me, 3-ounce bottle of clear thinned up. Turn it on. Here again, we're going to go on real light with it. We're not going to load it. I'm not trying to do a disappeared. Well, there's one spot I need to shoot a little blue on. Good. Back over it with clear. I sure hope I got it de-waxed good. Probably put a little more filler in that one. A little dent there. Depending on how rambunctious I get before the Nationals, I could go back over it again. I'm going to zoom in on this and you're going to see where they just disappeared. And remember, we haven't melted that clear yet. I haven't shot the thinner on it. And we'll zoom in here. It's gone. See, if you look at it, you can see a small dent, very small. I didn't want to, I block sanded it, but I didn't want to sand too much out on the clear. And I'll hit it with another coat of clear, and then we're going to shoot the thinner on it to melt it. We'll see how that works. And then later on today, I'll be rubbing it out. And there'll be a dozen people saying, well, I'm not doing it right, or I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It works for me. I've won a lot of concourse trophies at different contests. Of course, there's no arguing that Wendy has to be the top concourse winner. Especially with an airplane that won the concourse 2 years in a row. That's saying something. I mean, oh yeah. I think I made a mistake by rubbing it there. Should have waited. Shoot a little clear on it. See, you might have to shoot a little blue back on it. Remember, a repair like this is not supposed to be done. You are not supposed to paint lacquer over your thing. Or the other way around, for that fact. One is a mechanical bond, the other is a chemical bond. Okay. I have another container here I'm going to put straight thinner in. You got to be real careful with this step because the thinner will melt the paint. Using 3608S for this step. I would suggest that I'm using Wix dope. Brodak Wix dope is the same product by Randolph. Of course, you can get some pretty nice colors in Brodak dope, like the Miss Ashley Red. You can't get that from Randolph. But I did call the guy, and he said he would mix me any special color that I wanted. So it doesn't hurt to call anybody. Nice thing about doing this too is that when you shoot the thinner on, you're also cleaning the gun. Kind of ran it there. Ugh. That's what I get. I got it too hot. So I'm gonna have to cut the video. Yeah, cut the video and let it dry and sand it out, and we'll come back and buff it. And when I come back, I'll show you how it's buffed and how it's absolutely invisible. So that's enough for now. I'll be back in about, I'd say it takes a half an hour for this to dry. Enough for me to just sand that little spot off. And we'll finish it up.